Welcome. So you've shared some really interesting, very distinct game settings with us. That's what we're diving into today.
Yeah, three really unique ones.
Exactly. We've got 1880s Arkham, shrouded in fog. Then there's 1985 Berlin with its loops and divisions.
And that timeless Britain where, like, faux horror meets the council office.
Right. That weird mix. So our focus today is figuring out how each one creates its own specific, vibe, its atmosphere.
Definitely. Looking at the sources, it's clear they each use these sort of signature elements. It's not just background dressing.
No.
These things actively shape the reality within the game. It's more than just different times or places. It's about twisting how you see history, how you see reality itself.
Okay, so that's our mission then. Let's unpack those core ideas. What makes Arkham feel like Arkham? How's Berlin different? And what about this strange Britain?
Where should we start, Arkham?
Let's do it. Stepping into 1880s Arkham, the first thing that hits you, according to the sources, is the fog.
Right, the fog. But it's crucial to get that this isn't just, fog. It's like a veil that thins out sometimes.
Thins out to reveal things.
Exactly. Forgotten stuff, old sins, questions nobody answered. It's like the town's memory works like the tide, sort of ebbing and flowing.
Bringing different things to the surface, so the past isn't really buried there.
Not at all. It's active. And the Miskatonic River plays a huge role in that feeling, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The way it's described, it feels less like a river and more like a character.
Mm-hmm.
It takes lives, sure, but also memories, secrets, and those descriptions shining like old silver breathing mist. It's more than just water.
Yeah, it's like a collector, a conduit for all of Arkham's messy history. Which kind of leads us to the Quiet Palace.
That place sounded fascinating, not your typical historical society.
No way. They're tracking weather patterns, funeral records, but also burying memories in clay jars.
Buried memories, yeah. It feels ritualistic, like they're trying to manage the town's unsaid history.
And that blue thread they all wear. It's subtle, but it marks them as guardians of forgetting. It makes you wonder what exactly they've locked away.
It really does. It's like active curation of the past. And then you have the Asylum and the bell. That's properly unsettling.
Uh-huh. The building's gone, physically demolished.
But the bell
Okay.
still rings every Tuesday.
And people start crying or speaking languages they shouldn't know. It suggests that places, maybe events too, can just exist out of sync with normal time in Arkham.
Like reality is a bit unstable there.
That's the feeling. It connects to that idea of things half buried. Not just bodies, but promises, truths.
And the drifting dead you feel near water and fog.
Right. It paints this picture where the stuff the town tries to ignore is always kind of pressing at the edges.
The Forgetting Bridge fits right in there too, a place that can actually erase memories.
But with a catch, an unpredictable cost.
Which says a lot about how people there view their past, doesn't it? Like there's this desperate need to forget, but forgetting itself is dangerous.
It highlights this core tension, I think. Wanting to escape the past but being completely tangled up in it. Erasing one memory might just warp another.
And then the second library, that sounds impossible.
Impossible books, yeah. And the power to just erase someone's name. People disappear.
And that smell dust, whale oil, dried apples, it's such a specific detail for such an unreal place.
Makes you wonder what kind of knowledge needs erasing, right? And the greenhouse at the edge. Plants that represent silences. An unseen singing woman.
It feels like the landscape itself holds these unspoken things, waiting.
Yeah, waiting to be remembered, or maybe awakened. Each plant as a silence is such a powerful image of collective repression.
And the Church of the Second Weather open roof. Readings about the weather instead of sermons.
The idea that weather is memory, it just keeps blurring that line between the town's internal state and the outside world. Mind and meteorology all mixed up.
We also see these factions trying to cope with it all in different ways.
Right. The silent service, archiving the forgetting. The Society for Rational Inquiry trying to measure the fog.
The Mourners' Assembly, leaning into the grief. And the Daybreak Lodge, trying to push back with civic rituals.
It shows all the ways a community might react, Suppression, rationalization, acceptance, resistance.
And those figures mentioned Dr. Quince vanishing into the library, Sister Lyria speaking only in fog, Deputy Bellwether recording things that never happened.
They each embody a piece of Arkham's weirdness with time and memory.
So the bottom line for Arkham is, the past just won't stay buried. The fog brings it back.
Whether you like it or not, that seems to be the core truth there.
Okay, vivid, unsettling. Now let's shift gears. Across the Atlantic, 1985 Berlin. Also divided, but feels very different.
Very different. The source material, the Codex of the Divide, it paints Berlin not just as Cold War tension, but deeper, fractured.
Like a hot tape reel, it says. Divided by memory, rhythm, grief.
Yeah, this tension between being watched and feeling everything so intensely, and the wall. It's more than concrete here.
Right. It's described as this buildup of forgotten stuff, changed minds, discarded ideas.
And undocumented places along it. Real enough to walk in. Real enough for this thing called channeling.
How does that change the feel of the wall?
It turns it from just politics into this, like, psychic scar, running right through the city. Which brings us to the Library of Breath.
Formerly a watcher hangout, now full of ghosts and regrets.
And if you channel there, the city itself writes your name under regret. That says a lot about the weight of unspoken feelings.
Like the city itself is keeping score of failures.
Exactly. And the tower, seen from both sides, but belonging to neither.
The place for tired angels, humming a key of mourning. That image really stuck with me.
It's this shared sadness, isn't it? Transcending the division. A kind of melancholy connection.
And then there's the U-Bahn that doesn't stop. Ghost stations.
Hints of time slips, maybe
Okay.
changing who you are. And that reciting conductor adds a weird ritualistic layer. Makes you think about lost futures in those stations.
Hansa by the wall, the studio that's also an altar. Lined with unplayed recordings.
Yeah, and channeling bleeding through the walls, sonic angels. The connection to Bowie and Bargeld makes it feel grounded somehow.
How does that mix of real history and this mystical element feel?
It suggests the creative energy of the time was plugged into the city's fractured state, like the music is an echo of the division.
And the sounds heard only in fog. Those aren't just in your head, the Codex says.
No, they're signals knocked loose from time, transvisions, kids singing in Russian, repeated phrases.
I will stay because you forgot to leave. Or traffic reports for a city that doesn't exist like that anymore. Chilling stuff.
Deeply unsettling. It creates this feeling that reality is overlaid with fragments of other times, other possibilities, constantly.
Like the past and the almost was are bleeding through, and the environmental echoes reinforce that.
Matching footsteps when you're alone, the single phone ring, a typewriter clacking out names.
Just subtle glitches. What's the effect of that on people?
It's this constant low-level hum of unease. Things aren't quite right. And again, factions pop up in response.
The watchers, just observing, detached. The monitors, archiving the unstable data.
The choir of the unheard, broadcasting disruption. The ascentists, trying to escape feeling. And the smoke priests, using cabarets like temples, blurring reality and performance.
Each one a different strategy for dealing with this fractured reality.
Exactly. And the figures Cassiel still watching, Frau Dre living in an unmapped flat, Klaus de Lautlus on his ghost radio station.
The one in the mirror jacket, Lottie 8 corrupting paperwork.
They all feel like embodiments of Berlin's fragmented state, living pieces of the divided city.
So for Berlin, the core isn't just the division itself, but the echoes it creates.
Precisely. Echoes in time, in memory, the past and the almost past bleeding into the present, shaping everything.
It's a really interesting contrast with Arkham's resurfacing past. Berlin feels more haunted by possibilities.
Yeah, more like persistent echoes reshaping the now.
Okay, final setting. Timeless, Britain, Albion, and Britannia, where ancient folk horror gets tangled up with bureaucracy.
It's a wild blend, isn't it? The Codex of the Isles sets up this place that doesn't really do linear time.
Modernity and myth are just layers woven together.
Druids with data centers, witchfinders on Zoom. It immediately signals something strange. The core idea is that the Isles remember. And they're watching across all time.
It makes you think about history differently. And the locations really nail this blend. Greyhook undersea.
Yeah, lost in sea mist and red tape, tide-dependent signs, and that rumor of a pact with something old down below.
And if you stay overnight, people just act like you've always been there. Tuileries made of driftwood or paper boats. It feels very contained, very local.
It shows how deep folklore can run, shaping reality itself. Tuileries tied to the place, not people that suggests a powerful land memory connection.
Then the night registry, a brutalist office block issuing permits for dreams.
Administrative haunting. Dream form B94 variant. It's genius, merging the abstract world of dreams with concrete bureaucracy.
Tuileries as stapled forms or hold music voices. It's the uncanny and the utterly mundane. What are they even codifying there?
Who knows? And Bunting Hill always celebrating, enforced cheerfulness.
With that creepy feeling, the bunting itself is holding something back. Containment.
And if you remove it, flickering lights showing other people's arguments, mail going astray. It suggests the cheerful surface is fragile.
What kind of control is that enforced happiness?
Maybe suppressing dissent, or just masking something darker. It's a comment on conformity, maybe.
And the chalk veil, a cliff face that causes amnesia, a boundary of the self.
With rumors that Jumper's return changed. Two Larrys as mirrored hands or backward footprints, it makes identity feel really fluid, tied to the land itself.
Then we get these timeless factions. They just persist.
The Gentleman's Agreement, denying magic while managing it. The Public Rituals Office, using government forms for ancient rites.
The Society of the Last Hearth, keeping folk knowledge alive through, like, cooking. The Crystal Surveillance Service, techno-druids monitoring energies.
And the Commonwealth of Shadows, this network of hidden communities, like the Iron Ringers and their bell that hasn't rung in 70 years, little hooks into huge unseen histories.
How do these groups shape life there?
They show how the ancient and modern interact, exert influence. The endurance of tradition attempts to control the weird, hidden networks everywhere.
And the tutelarities are different here too. Not from souls.
No, from patterns. Rituals repeated, decisions made over and over. Place-bound, behavior-bound. Like Nimith judging left hands or Colsel showing up on CCTV as fog.
And they train the touch that flips the usual script.
Completely. It suggests these forces aren't just served, they actively shape individuals through these ingrained patterns. Agency feels different, guided.
And bureaucratic withering. Even going mad is tracked by the NHS Echo Tracking Unit.
With warning letters. It's darkly funny. The stage is frayed, finding coins from next year, being recognized in old paintings. It grounds the strangeness in such a specific British way.
Even the supernatural needs filing, and the modern folk horror prompts really hit that home.
Plague bells via Bluetooth, witch trees on Street View. The corpse tithe demanding hair for library fines. It shows how old fears adapt.
Brings the dread right into your phone, your laptop. And finally, the rituals of the Isles. Mundane stuff as access keys.
The tap-in rite. BOGO binding, red box confession, pub toll, portal queue, everyday actions with hidden weight.
Like the red box spitting back a truth you won't say.
It shows how deep the blend goes. Ritual isn't separate. It's woven into the fabric of life, often unseen, overseen by these forces and bureaucratic echoes.
So the theme here is that constant, maybe unsettling blend, ancient and modern fused into one reality.
Exactly. Ritual embedded in the everyday.
Wow. Okay, 3 incredibly distinct worlds. Arkham's past bubbling up through the fog.
Berlin's present haunted by echoes of division and what might have been.
And Britain's timeless, seamless, weird fusion of myth and admin.
And looking at them like this, it's not just about game settings, is it? They're like thought experiments.
On memory. History.
Yeah, and the unseen things, psychological, historical, maybe stranger, that shape how we see reality.
So maybe the question for everyone listening is, which of these feels, I don't know, resonant? Does any of it echo how you feel the past or hidden stuff affects your present?
What kind of current, maybe, is playing out in your world?
Something to think about. And of course, there's loads more in the source materials you shared. Definitely worth exploring further, maybe even stepping into one of these worlds.